Okay, at it again. 5-volt regulator. It took me a minute. Things just don't solder all the way through. You will have problems. So I had to go back and check it. I knew I had it right. It just was causing some agony for me. Anyway, as we can see on the meter here, showing 4.98. So that's 5 volts. There's the 5 volts right there. I'll take that off of there, and that goes down to 0. Put that on my voltage bias. Now, voltage bias is taking a voltage divider and halving it. And this thing's a little bit over fresh battery. It's just reading about 10 volts. So, you know, there it is, 4.87. So that's your voltage bias there, 4.87. And then again, if I want 5 volts on the money, I'll go with this one. And that gives me 4.98, which is pretty close to 5 volts. And there it is, power section. What this thing's going to be, I'm about to try another guitar pedal. And hopefully I can get a chorus pedal out of this thing. We're going to try that. Got the PT2399 in there. And like I said, there's going to be a chorus, hopefully. At least I have a reading now on the chip. And it is 5 volts on pin 1. And then I'm reading about 2.5 volts on some of these other pins. And some of it's a little bit of a mystery now, because this is a different circuit than what I'm used to. But I got the power section. Voltage divider works. Everything's looking pretty good so far. Voltages are correct. So I'm happy about that. Got some 10Ks. I got to go on this side here. Got to do that when I get to it. There's going to be a LFO that goes from pin 2 to this thing. And this is where this op amp is going to come in. Hopefully one side of it will just be a buffer, and the other side will be the how you get the LFO. I worked on the op amp, got that in there, but it's just the what they call the LFO, the low frequency oscillator. And put it all together. I got a few more things I got to do on the right side of the PT2399 that's going to feed all into the other side of the op amp. So one side of the op amp is a LFO, the other side will be a buffer. Pretty much wanted to put together the LFO. And the way I'm testing this thing is I've got a multimeter here, and it's at 0 because I don't have it plugged in. And if I plug it in, I'm not going to be able to hear anything. This is just kind of testing the waters. Now we're at 2.49. But now look at the meter. It's going all over the place. And that's attached to pin 2 of the PT2399. So I added a speed control to it. And I guess this is the rate. It's a 500K. The speed's a 100K. And what I'm going to do there is I'm going to slow down the speed. And see, it's stabilized. It went to 2.5. So that's telling me something. That's telling me that the oscillator is definitely working. And if I can do this maybe like that. I'm opening it up now. Just got to the halfway point. And there it goes. Starting to do a little bit of warble. Gotta be real careful here. And then again, if I open it up a little bit more, it starts going a little crazier. So that's telling me that oscillator's working. Because that's what an oscillator does. It just drops your voltage. And the capacitors charge up and they discharge. That's how that works. So I did a little homework on all this. Just going to kind of work on this a little bit at a time. All I got left is the other side, which is the buffer. And hopefully I can get start getting a signal on this thing. Here we go. Here's an update on this thing. I have issues with this PT2399 delay chip. And I'm trying to make a chorus out of this. This is new territory for me. It's taken a lot of time to figure out things. One of the problems was I didn't have a socket for it to go in. And so I think this one's faulty. It latches up, which is, you know, known to happen once you get this short delay, which is what you need for a chorus pedal. But, you know, when I jiggle the pins, it fires up. So when you turn it on, it doesn't work. And then you jiggle the pins and it works. So something's got to be wrong with it. But I've got it, you know, down to where at least I have the 2 potentiometers now that I would like to have. And we'll do some demo with it. It's not much to speak about right now. This was an issue. Can't figure out, you know, where things go. And I tried all kinds of problem solving today. But it does kind of work. But it's not doing the chorus effect like I want. But I am getting the a slap back short delay on it. And so that's just leading me to go down the rabbit hole, see what I can come up with. I added, we'll get some shots over it in just a minute. I added the NPN transistor. It wasn't on the original schematic. So I got to thinking, well, maybe it needs that. Added it. It goes from pin 4 to pin 6 is how that gets going. And the understanding that I have is if you can change the voltage on pin 2, you get a modulation. It's not a very strong modulation, but it's a start. And it's more than I've ever heard out of any modulation I ever tried. So, with that, let's give it a few chords. Not using a whammy bar at all. You can hear that warble. So those are nice things. So that was like one of my favorite settings that I had there. I was messing around before I started the video. So you can definitely hear it's warbling a bit. I'll try to change it. It's not going to really make a difference too much. Let's see if we can hear any difference. I kind of made it where it gets more of the flangey sounds, and here it gets a little, so in other words, I'm slowing it down. Here I'm speeding it up. If I turn it to, clockwise, I get where the speed gets a little faster. That is the speed dial, by the way. And my 500K that I have right now is bottom of the barrel. Can't even twist the knob on it hardly. So I need a better 500K potentiometer there for the rate. I think that's what you call that one. So play around with it till you find your favorite setting. I like to back about right in there, I think. You know, with 3 days in, I think I made a pretty good jump start on this thing. So it's going to be open to a lot of experimenting, trying to get it down. And like I say, it's a start. Here's some noise in the background. Been a chore, as you can see. And this is the PT2399 that I was talking about right there. It was latching up a little bit, still does it a little bit, but I think that chip is faulty. And I did not have a socket for the chip to go in there. And then I added all what you see here on the right side. There's the transistor and the circuitry that goes along with it. So, I don't know, I started this thing on Sunday. It's now Wednesday. It's kind of like that. It takes time to build these things. But, you know, I can hear background noise, so definitely don't have something hooked up right. And coming off of this, I could never figure out what was going on with that thing. So maybe if I put that back where I think it's supposed to go, maybe it'll all work.